Just because you trust me doesn't mean that I trust you. Trust between two individuals is rarely the same. Just because I have a high level of trust in you doesn't mean that you have a high level of trust in me. In fact, it's almost always the case that those levels are different in some way. I find that many sales reps assume that a customer stakeholder has the same level of trust in them that they have in the stakeholder. So they assume that since they have a high level of trust with the stakeholder, then the stakeholder must have a high level of trust with them. Here's how this plays out in real life. As a sales manager, I ask my sales rep whether he or she thinks the stakeholder would be willing to help us out if we tell him or her that we really need the deal to close before the end of the quarter. The sales rep says, "Oh yeah, for sure. I've got a lot of trust with this stakeholder. I mean, they've been highly credible with the information they've shared with me about the decision process. They've been super reliable getting back to me whenever I have questions. And look, they even know my kids' names and ask about them every time we talk." So as a sales manager, I encourage the sales rep to share with the stakeholder our need for a quick decision and signature, only to find out that the stakeholder uses that information to help their procurement people pressure us for an even bigger discount. The details shared by the sales rep were an indication that the level of trust from the sales rep to the stakeholder was high, but not an indication that the level of trust from the stakeholder to the sales rep was high. The right question is whether the stakeholder perceives the sales rep as credible and reliable. Does the stakeholder perceive the sales rep to know them on an intimate level? And does the stakeholder perceive that the sales rep cares about and is interested in the stakeholder's business and not just the sales rep's quarter end? It's a critical and costly mistake. So make sure when you have trust discussions, they're about how much trust the stakeholder has in you or the sales rep, not the other way around. Drop a comment below on when you've seen a misunderstood or a misplaced level of trust cost you something in a deal, or maybe even cost you the deal yourself. Look, I hope you found my thoughts on trust helpful and that you start using something like David Maister's formula to better analyze and impact stakeholder trust level in your deals. And if there's another topic, another sales topic you want to hear my thoughts on, let me know in the comments and I'll do that.